Hey, Mustang Stampede, doing the belt replacement on 2011 Fiesta. This is the cover that you need to remove. It takes 2 torque screws. Those torque screws go right there, and then you have access to the stretch belt. Alright, so you're going to need an 18 millimeter for the crank bolt to move this. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put the 18 millimeter, sorry it's so hard to hold the camera here, put the 18 millimeter on this. I'm actually going to use a screwdriver to walk the belt over off of the crank pulley, and then I'll be able to take that belt out. They make a special tool that bolts onto the crank pulley. I don't have it. To put this back on, I've seen people use vice grips clamping right here on the belt and then walking the belt around. I'm going to use a zip tie method. You can do 2 things. You can either walk it on slowly with a zip tie, or you can attempt to fire the car just briefly with a key and walk it on that way. So that's your 2 methods without the tool. And basically the zip tie method, there's 3 holes in this pulley right along in here. And you basically just run the zip tie through there and zip it on tight right here, and then start walking the belt on. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one off. It's impossible to hold the camera and do this, so I'll just show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright, so basically now you can see what I've done. I've used a screwdriver, it's a big heavy duty screwdriver, to basically walk the belt off that pulley. And now if I pull that screwdriver out, it's going to allow that belt to come free. And this is the older belt. So it started to fray and wear out on the edges. I think you can kind of see it on the edge of the screwdriver there, and I kind of covered it in a different video on this car. So now the belt will pop off pretty easily. I don't know if I can hold this and get the screwdriver out of the way or not. Alright, so now I just grab the wrench and keep walking it off. Now the belt is off. Now I can take the 18 millimeter off here. And pull the belt out here. Get it to pop off the alternator. And there's one stretch belt for 2011 Ford Fiesta. Not sure why I'm not using the lift for this. It just seems like it would be a better idea to do it on the ground, so I don't have the car on the lift. But there's one of the frays. Here is another fray that started. And then this car has about 20 or 30,000 more miles. It has to go to the shop for a new timing belt. So let me grab the other belt for a part number. Alright, here's the belt. Belt you'll need, the Dayco E060393. And then you can always take it out of the box and just make sure that it's same length, which again, hard to do with one hand, but they are literally the same length. Of course, the one belt is stretched some already, so that'll make it a little more harder to put back on. But anyway, as you can see, they're basically the same size. So again, I'm going to try and walk this back on using the zip tie method. I'll get everything staged and show you what the zip tie should look like. So this is what it's going to look like. I've basically zip tied through the pulley the belt. The belt is on the AC compressor. It's on the alternator up top, and then it's smooth side to the water pump pulley. Now as I start to tighten this with the wrench, I will have to keep my hand up here and push the belt against the water pump pulley, because if I don't, it will actually pop off almost every single time. It's kind of tricky to do so, especially if you get near a compression stroke. But anyway, I'm going to give it a go and it should pop on. At this point, once you have cranked it over, not actually cranked the key, but cranked this wrench over just more to bring the zip tie to the right, you'd be able to crank the key. I'm not going to do that method. Alright, so here's the new belt. You can see it's on the alternator, it's on the compressor, it's on the water pump, and it's now on the crank. It's easier to come back towards my body like this way, so I actually brought the belt back around, and actually, because the water pump is smooth and it like to slide off, I actually decided to run the other way. But what I noticed here was I did walk off by one rib on the AC pump. So now I'll snip the zip tie, and I'll actually just crank with the wrench a couple turns and walk that belt on to that AC compressor by pushing with my thumb, and that's it. The belt will be installed. As always, thanks for watching.